Hi, this is David with Monofit Training Systems. I wanted to put a video out real quick about the mindset or the background to the thought and the concept of what we're all about. My little motto or slogan is a relative approach to absolute fitness. And what that means is focusing on body weight. And I've had videos like this before where I kind of explained it, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper today because it goes way deeper than the surface, meaning it goes way deeper than physicality, physical fitness, and stuff like that. It goes into like your primal mind, your pure mind, a mind that doesn't have any kind of pretense or that is not doing fitness for the wrong reasons, but doing it for like a pure reason, almost a prehistoric reason, feral reason. So a relative approach to absolute fitness simply means that it is very obvious that you can become as strong as you could ever want to be by simply manipulating not only your body weight through body weight only exercises, but then taking external weights, whether that be dumbbells, kettlebells, club bells, barbells, or another person, as in judo, jiu-jitsu, and other martial arts, and use that as your stimulus, use that as your resistance in order to gain strength. Now, what I mean is maintaining an ideal body weight. There are sports out there like powerlifting and bodybuilding, which they are their own category altogether. They show extreme examples of strength or muscularity, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. What I am talking about is if you took yourself and you were a wild animal, how would you be organically? Meaning, most chimpanzees are about 100 pounds, a little bit heavier in the wild. Silverback gorillas, same thing. They're always, females are always going to weigh a certain amount, and males, especially the dominant males, are going to be certain weight. Lions, elephants, rhinos, certain species of fish, they all grow to be, their maximum size is always the maximum size for the species, right? So I am 5'7", roughly, and I currently weigh 170 pounds. Now, there was a time when I was running more often and I was running faster, and that was when I got out of the military 21 years ago, I guess it's been now. And so back then I could run 3 miles in about 20 minutes or so, 20 and a half minutes, 20 minutes, 30 seconds. Now, my fastest time since then has been around the 24-minute mark. And I've run a couple of half marathons where my average minute per mile was 8.5 minutes per mile. So as a person who's trying to optimize their fitness, what I'm looking to do is at the weight of 170 or so, how fast, how strong can I be without compromising the other elements of my body, my physicality. So can I do a bunch of pull-ups, push-ups, dips, run 3 miles in 24 minutes, bench press, squat, deadlift my weight, or within 25% of that, going maybe 25 or even 50% more of what I weigh? Can I create a dominant physical strength so that I am in an ideal level where I can move through space however I want? The sport that I choose to participate in is jiu-jitsu. Even though I've done it off and on for a few years, I still feel very new. And there's one thing that has just been gnawing at me, and this is why I really wanted to share this video, is if any of you out there take jiu-jitsu already and you've been doing it for a little while, the most amazing thing is to see somebody who, when you look at them, they don't display any kind of impressive or obvious muscularity. They look a certain way. Maybe you have that skinny guy that's 140 pounds and he's a blue belt, or maybe even he's a white belt, but he's been a white belt for 18 months and he's consistently going to class 3 or 4 times a week, and he practices on a zone, and he works it. The one thing that's super amazing about the body is stimulation to the nervous system and how that body reacts. A lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners are so incredibly strong at ranges of motion, at moving other bodies around, that you just simply cannot get or duplicate with weights. You cannot. There's just certain things that can't be done with a shoulder press that you could directly translate into jiu-jitsu without having first stimulated your nervous system for it. So I'm not saying that weight training doesn't work in the sport, because it absolutely does. You look at world champions, almost all of them are lifting weights, whether it's gi or no gi. At the highest levels, you have very strong physical specimens in male and female alike. But because the reason why it's possible is because they're combining forms. They are monofit. By accident, I realized, or I discovered, that the reason I started Monofit and called it Monofit is because mono, or mono in Spanish, is monkey. But mono also, when you combine it with another word, it means with an extreme character to the point of dominance or exclusion. So you take somebody who lifts weights for the sake of lifting weights and getting muscular, great. They're getting stronger, they look good, they're probably watching their food, so they're, embracing wellness. You take the same person who's getting physically stronger and is at an ideal body weight for their muscularity, for their frame, for their height, and that person is a combat athlete, whether it's jiu-jitsu, judo, sambo, MMA, or any kind of fighting skill, and that person lifts weights and does those, they are going to be mono jiu-jitsu, mono MMA. They're going to be at the highest level, dominant, exclusion. They are going to be above others. Now, this is not this whole alpha bullshit and alpha male and all that bravado shit, alpha female, whatever that's being called now. What we're looking at is maximizing your potential, maximizing your abilities, and then once you get to this level where you're like, damn, I didn't think I could get here, then you look a little bit higher and you go, well, I'm dominating in the sport, or I'm doing really well in the sport because I added not only the physical act of lifting weights, but I go to jiu-jitsu, I go to karate, I go to any of those other sports regularly, and my timing is better, my speed is better, my recovery is better. But if you're not a combat athlete and you don't want to do that, if you're lifting weights the right way, you'll be better at the other activities that you like to do as well. So it's no secret nowadays that sports that never really embrace weightlifting, people lift weights there now. So golfers are lifting weights. Male and female tennis players are lifting weights. Volleyball players are lifting more weights. Track and field has lifted weights for a very long time. It's very common. Wrestlers have been lifting weights for a long time. Football players, right? Now, in certain sports where body mass is key, like football players, especially linemen and other positions, putting on a little bit more muscle mass than what you're designed for is acceptable and actually necessary. But the very healthy former NFL football players, they get back to a normal weight. They get back to an ideal weight, a feral weight, not a elevated weight where they're overweight and they were maybe not too healthy, but they were at least healthy enough to play the sport of football. But I've seen it firsthand when I used to work at 24 Hour Fitness. Mike Strahan, he was a big old dude doing chunky soup commercials when he was in his NFL prime, and then he retired from football. and he used to come into 24 Hour Fitness regularly, and he was slimming down. And if you guys watch football, which I don't really watch a ton of it, but because I saw him work out firsthand, I saw that he got himself back to a very healthy body weight, a very feral, normal, wild animal version of himself. And that's what I believe we all should be striving for, is this wild animal version. And I think, no, I don't think it, I know it. We need to get there quickly, not with pills, not with fad diets, but we need to get there in a way where our body is constantly benefiting from the pursuit of wellness. And to me, Monofit is not just getting light. It's not just losing weight, but it's also tapping into those things that our body and our culture has grown almost disassociated with. We do not have a instinctual way of eating, and we do not have an instinctual way of defending ourselves. So it's not for the sake of being brutal. It's not for the sake of being somebody who wants to be fighting. It's for the sake of finding out the most about us that we can, putting ourselves through a trial by fire, putting ourselves through some challenges, and really finding out what we're all about. I watched a video a while back where they talked about the most important belt in jiu-jitsu is the white belt. Why? Because you started, because you decided to make a change. And so with that in mind, starting your journey to wellness is the most important thing. Staying on it, you don't even have to think about it if you're committed, not inspired, not motivated, committed. Just like a marriage, just like any other good relationship, just like your career or your passion. There's going to be days when it's going to be tougher than others. There's going to be days when you want to quit. But commitment to those passions, commitment to the goals, commitment to your team. If you're on a team and you're trying to lift weights or eat better to be a more effective part of your team. If you're going to school so you can be a better effective part of your team, whether that's a professional organization or a company that you own or run, and you're constantly trying to get better, whatever it is, it's that commitment. But before that, it's that decision to make that first step. So whether you're going to be a white belt soon, or you're going to step into a gym soon, or you're going to follow an online program because you can't get to a gym, your schedule doesn't allow it right now, that first step, that first click where you download that workout and you follow it for 30 days, that's the most important thing. So Monofit is not just external physical fitness. It's not just the internal physical fitness. It is the cerebral mind. It's the intellect. It's the mindset. It's the willingness to be vulnerable. It's allowing yourself to be passionate and speak passionately about the things that are important to you. And it's so many other things. As we evolve, as we start to affect other people, things are going to start to change. People will start to change, whether it's wellness or anything else like it that's good for us. The more people that get involved, the more people that will eventually be affected. Kind of the way a dandelion, you blow on a dandelion and all those little seeds, they float out into the air and they plant more dandelions. And then you have this gigantic exponential growth of dandelions from that one. Yellow flowers sprout, and then when the season comes, they will take off again when the wind hits them or some kid blows on them, and it changes the whole landscape. So starting to have conversations about wellness and fitness and internal growth and reading books that are going to change you from the inside out, trying something for the first time, whether it's fitness, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's, going on a run for the first time in a long time. I don't know how many people are watching my videos or will watch this video, and I don't know if some of these people are veterans, but if you were a veteran, if you were in the military and you had a physical fitness test and you used to smoke them, you used to kick ass on them, get a first class PFT, and now you can barely run a mile. If you're not broken, if you're not, messed up where you can't run, and you're of, an able-bodied age, you're not dead yet, basically, then it's time to get up. It's time to do something. It's time to be inspired and then inspire. It's time to do something and then let people watch you. There's a saying that I heard, if you set yourself on fire, the world will watch you burn. Meaning, you will start to attract attention, not for the sake of it, but so that other people might get warm next to your fire and maybe borrow some of that. Just like a dandelion grows, you can take a little stick and take it back, and you can be inspired and you can start your own fire. And that's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to inspire to do. We want to be the example for that here at Monofit. So just keep on watching these videos. They're not always going to be about working out. They're going to be sometimes about this very thing right here, and that is having a good mindset so you can find some inspiration when you need it, find some inspiration when you have those dark times and you really want just a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a boost to help you along the way. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time.